Oh, hi there. Hello, everybody. Thank you for joining me today. I do truly appreciate it. Today is a sweet day because I get to open up a box with a book that I love. I've read this book from an author that I love. This author has written some books. I've read three of them that I did dig, all of them. And from one of my very favorite publishers, Walking God's Green Earth, and Brian James Freeman at Lividian Publications has really done me proud. Publishing authors like Robert McKimmon, who I do truly love, and now Philip Fracassi. Philip Fracassi, he's not necessarily new as an author, but he's new as a published author. And he's got three novels out that I've read. He's got five novels out, I think, actually, and some collections as well. But I want to say probably my favorite Fracassi story so far is what I'm about to show you, A Child Alone with Strangers. And I was able to get the first print trade edition hardcover when they came out, I think 2022 perhaps, when this one came out. And I was able to get it signed by Philip Fracassi. It was nice enough. It's terrific. And I also got a signed book plate, which I just stuck in there loosely. But I'm a fudge. But I'm a book collector. I love signed books. I love first edition, first print books. But more than anything, it's those limiteds that I truly dig. And the aforementioned Lividian Publications has delivered in my mailbox this very day the limited edition version, signed and numbered, of A Child Alone with Strangers by Philip Fracassi. And for those of you who haven't read this book, I do strongly recommend it. It's a book that I don't feel like anybody would dislike. I would recommend it to anyone, anybody. I'd recommend it to my wife. But the main character in this book, being a child named Henry, is one that right away I felt for this kid. I felt dear for this kid. And the beginning of this book, I'll tell you, this is a book, it spans genres. It's a police procedural. It's a horror. It's science fiction. And I guess you could perhaps say it's coming of age as well. But the very beginning of this book made me cry. And I'm not ashamed to say it. I cried. So I was Taylor Swift. There were teardrops on my wife's craft table, which is what I usually sit at to read. I don't have a guitar. But anyway, this book made me cry. And it made me cry more than once. But there's a spot in the book early on that, I'll read it. I promise. Read it. Very, very good. But anyway, I had the signed trade first print, first edition hardcover, and that one is from Talos Books. And now the limited edition is out. This book cost $150 plus shipping. And Lividian Publications is a publisher that you get your money's worth from. From what I read, we have 100 or 520 page book. And here is the way Lividian Publications packages it. Nice, tightly packed inside this foam with the lid on the foam to help make sure that they come in tip-top shape, that they are undamaged in shipping. And there is, again, the remainder of the foam. So they do a great job at practically everything. Brian James Freeman has got it down to a science. He's learned from the best. He's learned from the worst. And now he is one of the best. But here we are, A Child Alone with Strangers. It is wrapped in plastic, and as you can see, minus copy number 565. Some people will keep these books in the plastic. I do not do that. I get them out. And let's do it. Got my Benchmade Griptilian pocket knife here, and I'm going to cut this shrink wrap off. And this part of the process really seems to make people nervous. They get worried. They're afraid of damaging their limited edition books. I don't worry at all. Not even a little bit, because I've got a foolproof method. It's been a secret for centuries now. But since plastic was invented, it's been a secret. And I've uncovered that secret, and now I'm going to share it with you. The secret is that you cut the plastic, not the book. Anyway, and taking this plastic off is what I do. You know, a lot of people like to keep their stuff new and sealed, and I don't do such things. I didn't do such a great job of cutting it. So let's tear it like it's a Christmas present. All right, but one of the great things about Lividian publications is slipcases. To me, slipcases make it better. Feels complete when a publisher slipcases it. So having your book shipped in a slipcase directly from the factory is a notch above. And this one has the title, the author's name, the publisher's mark, hot foil stamped on the back. So for those of you who like to put your books on the shelf the wrong way, that's what it's going to look like. You'll know what book it is. And then hot foil stamped on the front. And you can see here a die cut window which shows you parts of that dust jacket illustration. And I'm going to take this out and show you a little bit about this die cut window. So it's hot foil stamping on the slipcase itself. And the slipcase is a sort of, I want to say, faux leather covering. It looks kind of like leather. It doesn't feel just like leather, but it's good. It's nice. And look at that die cut window. It's not just the cut in the stuff in the cardboard. It's cut, and then the outer covering is folded over in and fastened on the inside. So in your die cut, it's all rounded, smooth. It's not sharp edges. It's not going to come apart on you. So they make phenomenal slipcases. And then here is our dust jacket artwork. This is Francois Valancourt is the artist for this book. Francois Valancourt is probably, I like some artists, and Francois is one that I really look forward to. I dare say my favorite illustrator, walking God's green earth. There are several that I really do like. Francois was probably the first that caught my attention as an illustrator that I say, hey, whatever that guy does, I like. And I would get excited when I would see that name written, even though I don't know if I can say it right or not. Francois Valancourt. Maybe that's the wrong way to say it. But I know what I like when I see it. And there's the dust jacket all stretched out so you can see it. And it's a very fitting to the story. I like it. I like seeing that house in the picture. It really helps to illustrate it in my mind. But let's take a look at the book here. And on the front cover, it is hot foil stamped. And the book's cover boards kind of feel similar to that slipcase. It's like an imitation leather. It feels, I don't know, it almost feels rubbery to leathery somewhere in there. But there's our spine. It looks so good. High quality is Lividian publications all the way around. It has a built-in satin ribbon page marker, Smith's sewn binding, and look at those stitched head and tail bands. And then right off the bat, before I do anything else, we'll show you the end papers. They are thick. They are colored end papers. But ultimately, I want to see my signature page. So let's go right to it. Mine is numbered 565 of 750 numbered copies, signed in person by one of my very favorite authors, absolutely, 100%ly, Philip Fracassi, and one of my very favorite illustrators, absolutely, 100%ly, Francois Valancourt. So it's a heck of a combination. Author, publisher, illustrator. How could it get any better than that? But let's take a look at some of these Francois Valancourt illustrations, and you can see perhaps why I am such a fan of the work. Now, this book is printed on high quality, acid-free, archival paper, and it is printed offset. So the book should last forever and ever without discolorations and stuff. I know there's a few YouTubers out there who talk about what are the things they want most in books. And they'll talk about the paper being one of the most critical things, because they want to spend money on a book and they want to know that 20 years or 30 years down the road that their book is not going to be degrading on them. The paper's not going to be discoloring. It's not going to be getting brittle, falling out, tearing at the stitches where it's bound in and stuff like that. So the book lasting a long time, it may not matter today, but it matters to a collector that hopes to be able to keep it. So you saw the color frontispiece, you saw the color dust jacket illustration. For the numbered editions from Lividian, typically the interior illustrations are going to be black and white. And I'm told, because I don't own any, that their lettered editions are going to be color. Again, I'm not a lettered guy. I don't go there. I don't want to get stuck on having to buy lettered copies because I'm no longer satisfied with a numbered edition. So I stay in my lane. It's an old phrase, I think Dirty Dutch Mantel taught me. Stay in your lane. He didn't teach me. I was an old wrestler I was a fan of, and he has a podcast now. I listen to him from time to time, and he says, I stay in my lane. I agree, Dutch. I'll stay in my lane. But big fan of all this artwork here. 11 interior illustrations. Now, we've got publishers out there, great publishers, making great books that are selling books for $200 with no slipcase, with no interior illustrations, and they're selling them for $200. Meanwhile, Lividian Publications is giving you a fine slipcase, fine high-quality book with high-quality materials, interior illustrations coming out the ear holes, bursting at the seams, from great authors. I mean, some of the best authors out there. Robert McCammon and Philip Fracassi, just to name two. For me, it doesn't get any better than that. That's like a federal tax stamp for all of you Beverly Hills Cop fans. It don't get no better than that. But anyway, I think I got a couple more interior illustrations I'll show you there. And then I'm going to go smoke some king-size Camels. No, don't smoke cigarettes. I'm just playing. Beverly Hills Cop and Eddie Murphy, I'm a fan. Don't smoke cigarettes. Not even the king-size Camels. Not even if they got the federal tax stamp. But what a phenomenal book this was. And I say, I think my favorite, it's hard. Boys in the Valley, such an awesome book. Gothic, such an awesome book as well. But I want to say this one probably by a nose. Child Alone with Strangers of the Philip Fracassi books, probably my favorite, just by an eyelash. And then Boys in the Valley, and then Gothic of his major mainstream published novels. But there it is. And there you have it. Hopefully you're able to go out and get you a copy and you can see for yourself. Get it right side up, upside up, and you can see for yourself and have one on your shelf. Absolutely wonderful. I hesitate zero to recommend this book to anyone. I definitely don't hesitate to recommend Lividian Publications. And Francois Valancourt, if you asked me what's your absolute favorite book of all time, I'd tell you, Alas, Babylon. And you'd say, who's the best publisher that you want to publish it? Lividian Publications would be high on my list. And you'd say, who do you want illustrating that book? I'm going to tell you, Francois Valancourt. So there you go. There you have it. I'm a happy fella, a happy camper, even though I'm not camping tonight, hopefully. But this book just checks all the boxes for me. Absolutely wonderful. I recommend you go out, find you one if you didn't get one already. 750 copies. You can probably get one on the secondary market somewhere around list price. I wouldn't be surprised. Although Philip Fracassi's limited edition books typically have sold on the secondary market a lot higher than list price as time goes on. So maybe not. Maybe this one will go up. I recommend get you one. Read it. I think you'll love it. Anyway, thank you for your time. I do truly appreciate it. C'est la vie, baby. Doo-doo. Cool.